This project is sponsored by PCBWay. They have all the services you need to create your project at the best price, whether it's a school project or complex professional project. On PCBWay you can share your experiences or get inspiration for your next project. They also provide completed surface mount SMT PCB assembly service at the best price and ISO 9001 quality control. Visit www.pcbway.com for more services. Hello, the Cockroft Walton Multiplier is a circuit configuration used to generate high DC voltage from a low AC voltage source. The basic Cockroft Walton voltage multiplier circuits consist of a series of capacitors and diodes interconnected in a ladder-like configuration. The circuit takes advantage of the fact that capacitors charge and discharge alternately when connected in series with diodes. It's typically used in application where a relatively constant output voltage isn't required, as laser systems, X-ray systems, air ionizers, cathode ray tubes, etc. A standard Cockroft Walton multiplier uses one ladder stage and the multiplied voltage is generated between the last segment and the ground. In order to increase the voltage and thus the length of the spark, I will connect the high voltage transformer to drive through two cascades of opposite polarities at the same time. The elements of the cascades are mounted on plexiglass with a thickness of 3 mm, which is also an excellent insulating material. The capacitors are mounted on the front and the diodes of the back on the back of the plexiglass. Now at the end of one cascade prevail negative ions, cations, and at the end of the other positive ions, anions. So between these two differently charged electrodes, a spark appear. A similar project is described in one of my previous videos, where an output voltage of 200 kV is obtained. Unlike then, this time I increased the number of both cascades, but in order to get a constant spark at the output, a stronger output source of high voltage is also needed. For this purpose, I will use the device also made in one of my previous videos, in which is described how to make an excellent stable high voltage source with minimal modification of the PC power supply. In order to not repeat ourselves, you can watch the video on the making method at the given link above. In this way, the device itself becomes more compact, it works stably, and there is no unnecessary wires under high voltage. It is also important to note that the high voltage power supply to drive the multiplier must provide an AC output voltage. The most common mistake among the builders of such a device is that instead of using high voltage transformer, they use a transformer cascade from an old CRT monitor that already contains a built-in multiplier. We can recognize the Trafo cascade by the fact that it has buttons for settings, focus and screen. So in this device only a transformer should be used, which looks approximately like this or this, and does not contain any adjustment buttons. Now let's see how the device works in real condition. Before I start testing, I should mention that in this case I'm working with extremely high voltages, so it is necessary to take all the safety conditions, because if we do not follow the rules, an electric shock can be fatal. My recommendations is not to build the device if you do not have great knowledge and experience in this area. As you can see in the video, with this setup I achieved a constant spark from 30 to 35 centimeters. And all this is achieved in air without the use of various oils for insulation. As far as I could find online, there is no one else who has managed to create such a large spark without using insulation fluids. In order to ensure the reliability of the results, I put a ruler tool on the table on which the device is placed, so that the length of the spark can be clearly measured. This spark length in air corresponds to a voltage of approximately 300 to 350 kilovolts.